And thank you for joining the Time Is Always Now podcast. My name is Terence Young. I'm your host for the podcast today, and I appreciate you joining me. Thank you so much. This is a podcast that is dedicated to helping people get past their excuses, helping people get past saying, you know what, I'm going to do this tomorrow. I'm going to do it the next day. I'm going to do it next month. I'm going to do it at the beginning of the year. All of those excuses, waiting on someday or one day. And we know those days never come. The time is always now. If you want to move your life forward for the better, you have to do it now. This podcast is dedicated to harnessing that power in the eternal moment of now. That is what it's all about. So I appreciate you joining me today. If you want to donate for the cause, by all means, you can do that by going to my website. It is TerenceYoungNow.com. You can go there and donate, and I say thank you in advance for helping me and allowing me to continue to bring these messages that I hope will inspire, encourage, and motivate other people to move forward and make changes in their life for the better right now. So lots have been going on lately, lots of changes in Florida as it is all over the country. Some of our bars are starting to shut back down because of the COVID cases rising up. So that's happening in some of your areas as well. So we're dealing with it. We're working with it and doing the best we can here and throughout our nation. That's what we have to do. But a lot of things are going on with me as well. I've created the first class, the 3 keys, the tips to finding your passion and living it right now. That's up and going right now live. If you want to get in on that class and take it, by all means, get in contact with me on Facebook, on Instagram, and I'll show you how to get logged in. You can go from my website as well. And I'm in the process of creating a second class, and this one's going to be on public speaking, on creating an engaging speech. So as a speaker, I can tell you from traveling around and speaking a lot, I know that there's a lot that I can share with how to be an engaging speaker. So I'm excited about creating this curriculum and sharing it with other up-and-coming speakers to show them how to grasp that attention of the audience and keep it for the entire 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, 25 minutes, whatever the case may be, how you can grasp them and get them engaged and then move them through the process. And that's very important to me because that's a passion of mine. Speaking is a passion of mine, and I'm passionate about helping people find their passions. So excited about that. If you think you want to take a course like that, get in touch with me. I'm going to have the coming soon page up pretty soon. That means the class is in process. I'm creating it right now. Got to start making the videos and all that. So it'll be maybe a few more weeks before I'm done with it. But if you're excited, if you want to take something like that, let me know. Contact me. Send me your email address, your contact info, and we will make sure that as soon as it's ready to go, you will be the first to know, or you'll be one of the first to know for sure. Outside of that, for today, I was going to talk about everything that's going on in our race relations, with the systemic racism and all. Just we have so much going on in the United States right now. You know what? I decided I'm not going to talk about that today because I've been talking about it for a couple of weeks now. I just wanted to talk about something else. We all have, I don't know about you guys, but you have your Facebook or your Instagram, and you've got all these messages, and you've got friends that you're with, friends that you've lost or deleted, and then outside of that, in real life, attempting to have conversations about this thing. So I'm going to back off of that conversation for a while. Not leave it because it's an important conversation to have. We're not going to have it today. We're going to talk about something different. And what I chose to speak about today is something that's near and dear to my heart, especially because I'm creating that course on creating an engaging talk and an engaging speech and how to do that. So one of those elements that's going to be a part of that is telling stories. And telling your own story or telling another story during your presentation. And storytelling is extremely important for anyone who wants to be an engaging speaker. But when I say engaging speaker, this is important too. I don't mean that you're a speaker like me and you get up in front of people. I mean, if you're talking to your best friend or your husband or your wife or your children It doesn't matter who you're talking to. Telling stories is a vital part of how you communicate and how you can be an effective communicator. The best communicators in the world are great storytellers. And the reason is, why is that? Right? Well, it's because people can relate themselves to the story. It doesn't matter what the story is, people can relate themselves to the story. When you tell a personal story, for instance, when I'm talking, a lot of times I'll start talking about some aspect of running. Why? Because I run all the time, so it makes sense. When I relate, now the story may be running related, but I may be comparing it to something like having faith or going forward or never giving up, right? So the concept can be a lot bigger than just what the story is about. And that's what a lot of people miss. And they don't use those stories to grasp that attention. But if you're just having a conversation with your spouse or your children, this is important too, because utilizing stories when you're talking to your children or your spouse will help them to understand where you're coming from. And that's the most important thing. We want to communicate effectively. And if you want to be a powerful, effective communicator, then you must use stories. But one of my favorite speakers of all time, Les Brown, said, never tell a story without making a point, and never make a point without telling a story. That means if you're standing up in front of people, or if you're talking to anyone, there's a point you want to make. Then if there's a point you want to make, which should be 99.99999% of the time, you should be telling a story. You should be telling a story. That's the way it works. There's the big secret that no one knows, but everyone knows. You should be telling a story. That's how you get your point across. That will help you to get your point across even better, because people will put themselves in that story. And then they're living that story with you. And that's where the engagement comes in and the understanding. That doesn't mean they're going to agree with you. It doesn't mean that. But the story itself is powerful. And you don't have to be a speaker to use this. You just have to be someone who wants to communicate effectively. If you want to communicate effectively, tell stories. So important. And like I was saying, the best speakers in the world are storytellers. And we can go all the way back to Jesus himself. Right? We can go back to the Bible and we can see how Jesus was a great storyteller. He told so many stories. And this in the Bible, whether it was Jesus or someone else, there were so many stories in the Bible that we can relate to, right? And we can agree or disagree on the meaning of the stories, right? Because as you grow and you learn, you may decide it's a different meaning for you. But wow, how many great stories are there in the Bible that can teach us so many great lessons? I love to go back to one. This is near and dear to my heart, which is the parable of the talents. Such a great story. All right, there's a master. He's leaving to go out of town, and he has 3 servants. He gives one servant 5 talents, another servant 2 talents, and the other servant 1 talent. Now, first we need to understand when he says talents, that's really an amount of money in that time. That's what it meant. But I love the fact that the word used as talents, and we'll get to that in a minute. So he gives one of them 5 talents, one of them 2 talents, and one of them 1 talent. And then he goes off. And then when he comes back, he goes to the first guy and he says, hey, I gave you 5 talents. What do you have for me? And the man says, hey, master, I turned your 5 talents into 10 talents. Look what I've done. And the master says, hey, well done, good and faithful servant. He goes to the next guy that he gave 2 talents to. And he says, what have you got for me? He says, you gave me 2 talents, I turned them into 4 talents. Look what I've done. Master says, well done, good and faithful servant. Go on. He goes to the last guy and he gave him 1 talent. And he said, I gave you 1 talent. What have you done? And that man said, well, I didn't want to lose your talent. I didn't want to lose it, so I hid it under the ground so no one would get it. But look, I still got that one talent. I still have it. And the master said, no, give me that one talent and I'll give it to the ones that have 5 and the one that has 2. I'll give it to them. You don't deserve to have that talent anymore. Powerful story. What's the meaning behind that story? The meaning is this, and this is the way I take it. And I love the word that's used is talents, right? We have talents. We're given talents from God. And the meaning of this story, what I take from it is this. We are meant to utilize those talents. We are meant to cultivate those talents. We are meant to grow those talents. Hence why the man who had 5 made him 10. The man who had 2 made him 4. We are not meant to sit on our talents. We are not meant to hide our talents, our gifts from God. Our talents are our gifts from God. How we utilize them is our gift back to God. Yeah. It's our gift to the world, how we use them. We are not meant to hide our talents. So if you are one of those people, and this is why this story is so near and dear to my heart, is because if you're a person and you have that passion and that drive to do something, but you're hiding, you're scared, you're in fear, you don't want to move forward because you're worried about what could go wrong or what might happen. If God is speaking to it, if God has put it in your soul for you to dream it, then it can happen. It is a part of your unfolding, and it is not right. You are missing the mark if you don't pursue it. And my passion is to help people find their passion, because I know how powerful it is when you know what your passion is and you're living in it. I'm doing it right now. Speaking is my passion, it's what I do. I know that God put me here to do it, so I'm doing it. And my gift back to God, my gift back to the universe is that I speak, because I know I have the power to motivate and encourage and inspire others through the spoken word. That's my gift back. Yeah. The spoken word is powerful. And when you know how to use it, you can transform lives. You can motivate people. You can get people to change the way they think. And that's what I do. I'm asking you, my friends, what is it for you? What talent did God give you? We all have them. What did God give you? Is there a talent that God gave you that you are sitting on and you're hiding because you don't want to lose it? But by hiding it, that is just what will happen. If you don't use it, you'll lose it. You won't have it. You won't have the opportunities anymore. The universe will stop creating those opportunities that come your way. You won't see them, I should say. If you're hiding it, you won't see the opportunities that are coming your way to utilize the gift that's been given to you. Don't hide your talents. Don't hide your talents. Whatever they are for you, get out and use them. That is God's gift to you. Pay it forward and give that gift right back to God by showing it to the universe, showing it to each and every person you meet, expressing it out loud. Don't hide your talents. Cultivate them, grow them, encourage them, move them forward like the men in the story. Yeah, we can learn a lot from the parable of the talents. Think about that. Think about it. If you literally move yourself forward with the talents, and you know what those talents are that God gave you, if you don't know what that passion is and you're having trouble finding it, then talk to me. Come see me. I created a course on it. 3 keys to finding your passion and living it right now. I can help you find out what it is. But most of you already know, and if you don't know, I can help you. But find that passion and then go for it. Live it. Believe in it. Do it. Become it. That is what we are meant to do. If you do that every single day, every single moment of now, then you'll be able to unequivocally say, I own the now, and I have won. My name is T.Y. I'm signing off for today. Remember, the time is always now. Allow the universe to work in your favor and be blessed.